Hey everybody, welcome back to Experience Points, a series of videos where I talk about games that I'm playing a little bit of but haven't yet finished, and today we're taking a look at the demo of Sea of Stars. I've had a chance to play through it, and these are my first really raw impressions of the game based on this demo. But first, a quick disclosure, this is still just a demo, and as with all demos, nothing is really final. This is just sort of an idea of what the game will play like, an idea of what it will look like, just to give you a taste, a little something to look forward to, and to put a bug in your mind that maybe this is something that you're gonna want to check out. And if you're not familiar with Sea of Stars, let me be the first to tell you that this game is, wow. I'm gonna stop short of saying that the game is incredible because it's not out yet. It's just a demo, but based on what I've played of the demo, it's very promising. Sea of Stars is a game that I would say is probably best described very quickly by saying it is a combination of Chrono Trigger with some of its battle mechanics and some of its aesthetics, as well as Super Mario RPG with some of its combat mechanics. And it's a lot more complicated than that. Let's just start off right off the bat. You can see that this game is absolutely gorgeous, and that is probably one of the first things that's drawn a lot of the attention for a lot of people to this game. It has a really nicely done, very fluidly animated pixel art with some really detailed sprites. A lot of games that do a lot of throwback RPGs, a lot of those developers tend to do things that are like a little bit more 8-bit, a little bit more 16-bit. And this definitely has some of those 16-bit inspirations, as far as you can tell with like the character proportions, like the head to body size, if you care about that sort of thing. But really, it's like an evolution of those character sprites from the classic 16 and 32-bit eras, games like Suikoden or games like Chrono Trigger, and does a really great job of recreating some of those feelings that you got when you played those 16-bit games back in the day. I was saying to myself as I was playing through this game looks the way that Chrono Trigger feels. And by that I mean, like, if I look back at Chrono Trigger in my mind, this is sort of what it looks like with the rose-tinted glasses and full effect. Aesthetically, this is awesome. And the overworld traversal system, which has a little bit of jumping around, some like being able to crawl up. I won't go so far as to call it parkour, because it's definitely not, but you can like climb up ledges, you can jump up ledges, push blocks, climb up on those blocks, and then climb up on the next ledge, that sort of thing. It's really fluid, feels very nice. Being able to like jump across gaps and stuff is also really nice. It doesn't have the sort of system where you can jump anywhere, so it's not like what I would compare to Alundra, for instance, though it does have some of those similar traversal puzzles in the game as you go through some of the dungeons and stuff, some of the areas. And it has a lot of hidden details within it that it just makes you want to explore. Like right off the bat, right when the game first starts, or when the demo first starts, I got this urge to just go the complete opposite direction. Obviously, the game's trying to telegraph to you to go to the right, go down this and do that. But I'm like, I gotta go explore to the left first, and let's see what's over that way. And it does a good job of rewarding player curiosity. There's a town that has all kinds of like hidden passageways and stuff to go find, and each one is rewarding with its own little piece of treasure at the end. And I love that about this game so far. This demo does a really great job of getting me excited for what is to come. Now, let's talk about combat, because combat is another thing that is extremely exciting to me, because it takes effect the same way that... No, it's different from Chrono Trigger. It's similar to Chrono Trigger, but actually a bit better. At least so far, there haven't been any scripted encounters. It was a great game, and so is this demo. Which, by the way, does a very similar thing where you bump into characters or enemy sprites on the world map, and the combat takes place within that world map. So in my review of Chrono Trigger, when I said that was a combat style that hasn't yet been fully replicated, I think that statement might be worth revisiting now, because this game does a really good job of borrowing that mechanic from Chrono Trigger. In addition to dual and triple text, it definitely has a lot of Chrono Trigger inspirations that it wears those on its sleeve, right? But that's not all, because the game also borrows some inspirations from Super Mario RPG. And I love both of those games, and having it have a bit of Super Mario RPG just kind of mixed in a little bit right into the action of the game. What I mean by that is every time that an enemy comes to attack you, if you react by pressing the A button at just the right moment, you can block, and you actually can gain some extra MP in the process of doing that if you nail it just right. And when you're attacking an enemy, you can do extra damage by tapping the A button right at the moment of impact. I suck at that, but that's because I'm brand new to this demo. I don't want to call it a game, but based on my experiences with the demo so far, I'm feeling really good. Like, this could be a really awesome system, and I cannot wait for this game to come out in August, at the end of August. August 29th, I think, is when they announced the official release date. I'm going to make another comparison to another RPG series here pretty soon. I just wanted to remind my viewers here to hype responsibly. Do not let my excitement necessarily raise your bar here, okay? I want you to, if you have a Switch and if you have the opportunity to play the demo, go play the demo. Let yourself be your guide, you know? Don't let me tell you this game is going to be life-changing. It probably isn't going to be. It's going to be probably pretty fun based on what I've experienced so far. I think the demo will be worth your while, and I think you should establish some of your own opinions on it. You can get it on the eShop right now. It's free. I just want to say, hype responsibly. Don't let other people get you overhyped, you know, because hype can kill a game. But let's get back to that other RPG I was going to make a comparison to, and that is Grandia. Now, the reason that I wanted to kind of preface all of this is because these are some incredible games I'm making comparisons to. Is this game going to be as great as any of those? I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. So instead of trying to tell you that it's going to be as good as those, I'm just trying to draw some comparisons. I'm trying to show where some of these inspirations are coming from. Grandia, I think it's a bit more of a stretch though. And it's one of my favorite aspects of Grandia, though, that they're reincorporating into this game. And that is the bonding events, the sort of discussion, the table discussion that would happen over the course of certain meals when you're resting in Grandia. Sea of Stars has something similar going on with its campfire system, which also kind of reminds me a little bit of Breath of Fire 3 when you would camp out on the world map there. It's a very similar sort of setup where you've got your party members all kind of lounging around of a campfire, telling stories, and I can really see this being leveraged to really great effect to help drive forward some character progression. But also when you are gathered around this campfire in Sea of Stars, you also have the ability to cook, and that is really awesome because it's really easy to cook, and I'm glad that it's just a basic system, but the items that you can make when cooking at the campfire are super useful. I definitely would not have been able to fight the boss of the demo. I wouldn't have survived had I not had a full pouch of ready-made food already. So that was really great to have that as a way to play. It definitely seems balanced for it. Another thing that's in the game that I want to also draw some comparisons to, maybe this is a more Breath of Fire 3 inspirations, or maybe it's just general RPG inspirations. It's the fishing minigame. Yes, I have a fondness in my heart for JRPG fishing minigames. If it doesn't have a fishing minigame, is it even really a JRPG? Really? So the fishing minigame is a bit of fun. There's a couple of places where you can fish within the demo, and the system it's a bit different from everything else that I've played so far. It's got a lot more to do with finessing your lure to go on the cast where you want it to go and to land in the approximation of where some fish are that you're trying to catch. And that's part of it. It's just trying to hook them by kind of throwing your line out to where the fish is. If you don't catch anything, it just reels it back in for you and you try to cast again. Otherwise, if you hook a fish, that's where things get a little bit more interesting, and basically you're using the left analog stick in order to try to swindle the fish into this stream, into this zone in which you can reel it in, at which point you hold the button to reel it in and it tries to reel the fish in, but meanwhile the fish is trying to fight to get outside of that zone, and if you reel while it is outside of that zone, it has this propensity to snap your line. So it's a really nice, interesting way to approach a fishing minigame, and I'm kind of feeling it so far, and I'm kind of curious to see where it will eventually go. What's also really awesome is that because this game has the ability to basically do whatever, climb walls, jump off of things, swim, you can actually swim around in the pond where you fish and try to even wrangle all of the fish into a corner and try to fish them out that way. I don't think it's super necessary to do that. I never needed that much fish. For all the cooking that I ended up doing, the fish was not in short supply. I don't want to dwell on the fishing minigame too much, but you know, it's something that I feel like I need to talk about. Oh, and this game also has an overworld map talking about quintessential JRPG features. Having an overworld where your giant avatar can walk around the countryside the size of mountains is really cool. And all of the art that is on display in this overworld map is so it's so nice. It kind of reminds me a bit of Lunar's Silver Star story. Again, another comparison to a 16-bit RPG, but it just has this vast map where you're walking around as these tiny little sprites, or maybe it's another Chrono Trigger inspiration, but the world has these unique features that stand out, that are just, it makes the world feel huge. It's not as zoomed out so that you can see like an entire continent at once, but maybe a good portion of an island at once to give you kind of a sense of perspective here. I could probably continue rambling on about this game as long as I played the demo, which was about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Someone who was speeding their way through it would probably get it done with in an hour, but really, this is the sort of game demo that I feel like I would want to slow down and savor, explore all of the nooks and crannies. There are some additional hidden items that are within that town that I heard that you could get. The demo said, hey, there's some extra stuff if you want to keep your eyes open for it. I'm probably not going to dive too much deeper into it at this point. However, you can rest assured that when this game comes out, I will absolutely be giving it a full playthrough and a full review. So if you're looking forward to that, get subscribed and you'll see it when it comes out. But in the meantime, I've been SuperDerek, and this has been Experience Points. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.